Good morning and welcome to the Craft Room. I'm Ellie Barnes. Today we're going to be making a card for a very dear friend of ours who's turning 80, and we're off to his celebration today. So he's one of my husband's best friends, or better friends, or I don't know what the guys call it. The girls call it the besties. Well, that's what my daughter uses, but he's been a friend of ours for a very long time, and we're really looking forward to celebrating, although I don't know how many of us are going to cope with this hot weather. But we're going out to a winery, and I'm sure we're going to have a wonderful lunch together. So I wanted to do a special card for him, and I decided I would use the Storybook Collection. So I'm going to turn you down to the desk and we're going to have a look at the Storybook collection. It's not what you would think of when you first think of a card for, well, it's all right for a guy, but not what you would think of for a card for an older person. It looks more like something you'd use for children, but it certainly is a great set to making cards for anyone. So let's have a look at it. I'll turn this down to the desk. There's the roof. Have a look at the roof. I don't have these fancy. Hopefully we're gonna dangle. Oh, it's not too bad. So the Storybook Collection has all these wonderful things, all these beautiful rabbit stamps, but it also has gardening tools. And this is where we're headed in, the direction we're heading in. It has pearls, maybe antique pearls they're called, maybe not quite what I want for an 80-year-old. And this all looks a bit fussy and a bit feminine for me, for what we want for this guy. So I've come over here and looked at the paper, and I certainly don't want petal pink ribbon on it. So I've decided I'm going to go with the plaids and the gardening paper. So I'll give you a quick look at the paper in full. I don't even know if I've got all the sheets out. I've just got a few out here. So very, very, very much something you'd use for kids, or look at all these rabbits that you could use for Easter. And then you've got all the other storybook characters, the squirrels, the foxes. Actually, I think it's all foxes and squirrels. I was going to say cats. That could be a cat. Not quite sure. We've got the vegetables from the garden, and then we've got all the gardening tools. And it's this piece that we're going to use today out of this. So we'll leave that there. And then I haven't even got all the ones out of, that's the Storybook Moments paper. And we've got this one, which is the Timeless Plaid. And this gives you just, look, I've got it pretty messily here, but there's some ideas of what it looks like, and they're the other side. So you've got checks on one side, plaids on the other. So I am going to use a piece out of there. That's this one. And I felt that, well, actually it's my husband's bestie, so he chose this. He chose this paper, and he said, no, don't put anything of these. I said, I'll put a watering can or something on the front. No, don't want to do any of that. He likes this stamp set. And he asked for me to put inside the cake with all the candles and happy birthday, another wrinkle wiser. It was a bit of a, I thought he was actually going to go for the aging like fine wine and cheese, since they enjoy a wine and cheese together. But no, he's gone for the bit of a wisecrack. Now, I haven't even looked to see if we're going live in the right place. Oh yes, we're there. So that's the one we're going to use with it. But we've got a few other things I'm going to bring in. So it's not going to take long, this card. I don't have long to do it. It's a big birthday weekend. I don't know. It's one of those situations when you've got a lot of birthdays happening at once. I know this weekend there's my friend Linda is having her birthday. And then we've got, who else have we got having a birthday today? Oh, where's my cutter? Oh, down here. We've got Linda having a birthday today. My stepfather's birthday we're celebrating tomorrow. And then on... I know Rebecca Hall, my friend Rebecca Hall's having her party today, and it's Ian's party today, so lots of birthdays. So what I'm going to do, I've got 2 sheets of this plaid, and I want to put, it will be there and one will be there. So I'm going to cut them to size so that they're exactly the size of the card. So we want... Well, actually, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to try and make the plaid match up a bit. So we want 10.5, but I want the plaid to match up a bit. So if I go, I'm just going to see if this works. I've just gone over a bit there. And now if I put that at 10.5, yeah. So I've got it matching on either side. So I'll do that again. So I did it, where did I do it? Just there. And I'm going to go 1 millimetre under on this side for the inside one. And then I'm going to do the same here. It's just a little bit long, so I'm just going to cut off a fraction at the top and get it to the size. Now that's my inside one because I cut it a little bit smaller. And that way my plaids are matching and nice and even on the front of the card. So we're just using normal card size, which the front is 10, I'll get this over to the side for a minute, 10.5 centimetres by 14.8 centimetres. But I'm going to take, I've got a piece already cut here. I think it'll be wide enough. I want to cut it at 2 centimetres under. So that's going to be, instead of 14 by 8, we're going to do 12 by 8. I think I like it this way, looking at the pattern. Oh, 12 by 8, Ellie, not 13. And then I want it 8.5, which this is. And that's, oh, we've got one more piece to cut, and I want it for the inside of the card. I might have a piece that's similar. No. Is this 12.8? No, too short. We'll get one that's 12.8. We'll cut it at 8.5 first. And 12.8. So that it's matching the same size, put this aside, on the inside of the card as this bit is. So we'll get those things out of the road. Now, what we might do is stamp first this piece for the inside of the card. And so I'm going to bring in that piece of scrap and you'll see why. Where's my Memento ink and my cake? Now, I'm going to stamp. I could stamp straight on, but it'll make the black very black. And I don't want it very black. And I'm going to stamp it there. So it's quite light. And I'm going to colour the cake in. Oh, we'll stamp the greeting first while we let that ink dry for a minute. Now, stamping up stamps, just a little hint here. This stamp pad, when it sits there, the pad's facing up. I store it upside down so the ink goes to the top, because when you open our stamp pads, if you have a peek, the pad is upside down, so all the ink is going to the top of the stamp pad, and that way that happens the same there. So that's just a little hint. Store your Memento and your stays on all upside down. So we're going to use the saying, happy birthday, another wrinkle wiser. I'm going to pop that up the top. And that was in Lost Lagoon, which is the same as that cardstock. The same colour is in there. So that's all the stamping done. I'm quickly going to colour our cake in. I'm picking up the Old Olive in the plaid, and I'm going to colour with light Old Olive for the plate. The cake itself, that's dark crumb cake, light crumb cake, which seems appropriate when you're colouring in a cake. And it's just a matter of lightly using the tip of the paintbrush end. We're not doing it to blend. I'm actually using the lights and darks just to give me the colours I want. I'm also using light Lost Lagoon for the icing. And I've gone outside the lines. But it really doesn't matter, does it? We're not Hallmark. We're just making a card for a friend. And Ian is a very good friend. He's been there when we've needed him. He's looked after the dog. When my husband had the stroke, one of his strokes, he's had 2 strokes, and was there driving. I had a broken arm and I wasn't able to drive. He was driving me back and forth to the hospital to see him because we were out on the farm and had to get a 40-minute drive into Ballarat to see him. Now I'm picking up wild wheat out of this piece of paper for the flame. So that's how I choose my colours. I just pick up colours that are in the paper. Now those candles are a bit light. I'm wondering if now what's this end like? Yes, I think I can do that. I know you don't usually have black candles, and I could have perhaps used a different colour, but I've started now. So, that's the inside of my card done. We'll get rid of all that and we'll glue that on. One of the other things that Ian and his wife Josie have done for us many times is pick the olives. When we were on the farm, we had a big olive grove. And picking was always around the long weekend in June, and it was always freezing cold. But come rain, hail or shine, they were there helping us. So they're very dear friends. And on the front of this card, we'll stick this one on and we'll stick that in the middle. You know, I think that's the nice thing about when you're making a card. You get to think about the person and how special they are to you. And then you make the card thinking about what they like. Not necessarily what you like. But often, because they're friends, you have similar tastes. So, it's a very simple card. We're not out to create today something over the top. We're giving him some nice, don't tell him, we're giving him some nice wine. Going to a winery. He and my husband love drinking red wine together. Now I need to stick that on, and I want to stick an 80 on. So what am I going to do? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is get myself a little bit, and I haven't pulled a piece out. So I will get a piece. Oh, here's out of my scraps. Do I have a smallish piece? Yes, that will be perfect. A piece of cardstock, and I'm going to emboss it with this cane weave. So that will go in there. We'll put that through the cutting machine. Try and get it straight. Right, so that's going to go through the cutting machine. I want to create a hole in the middle here. So we'll cut that out. And the last thing, we'll put that aside for a minute, I want to do is I'm bringing in these dies. Now these dies are on special or free. These are the Alphabet a la Mode dies. This is going to run out, finish the freebie. You can get these with a $100 spend. Now that is great value, and these are fantastic. You've got the alphabet and you've got numbers, and I'm taking the numbers 8 and 0, and I'm going to take a bit of the metallic textured paper, and I'm using the bronze or copper, I don't know what they call that one. Is it bronze or copper? Bright copper. And I'm going to cut those out, but I want to make it easy for myself. So I'll bring in some adhesive sheet. I only need a small amount. And it'll fit on that bit. And I'm just going to cut. Now, if you cut just on the card side, not on that side, you don't get glue stuck to your scissors. So you don't lose much, but it saves your scissors from getting sticky, which makes life a bit easier. And so we're going to cut those out. So we need 2 passes through our cut and emboss machine. We will put that one here. With that on top. And then down here, I'm just going to put our numbers. Just stay on for me. Just take that top section off and put it over there for a minute, and then we'll put our well, we'll come back this side because you can see better. We'll put our, oh nice, moved it around. Got it straight and then moved it around. You can do this, Ellie. Pop that on top. So it's just the bottom plate. It's a 3D embossing folder, so we're just using the base plate and the embossing plate on top. So we can take that out, get rid of this. And look at that. I think that looks fabulous. It's got such texture in it. And then we bring this one over, take these out. So we've got that little bit we don't need. We can save that for something else. They're inside. Where's my pick? So we get rid of those bits and my 80. So it's assemble time. We're going to pop this one here underneath. And next, we're going to pop this on top, but I want to raise it up. So I have these foam strips that you can get in the catalogue, and I'm just going to place these along the back here. You can see even this side of the paper is very pretty. It is pretty paper, and I'm looking forward to us using it for Easter. Now, oh, I've got two. I'll just put that one there for a minute so that can be cut and go up here, and this one here. Cut and gone up here. Actually, I'm going to put a little one there because I really want this to stand up. Oh, flew away. Put one here. That'll be all right. So let's just rip the backings off. And pop this on the front. Oh, it's not straight, Ellie. Look at you. Got to put it on straight. Straight and even all around. That looks a bit better. Pop that aside for another project. Let's get our numbers on. I'll put the O on first, eh? Let's take the sticky back off. This makes it so much easier than trying to put glue on the back of these. Now it's got to go I want it in the middle. I've got to do it this way so I can see where the middle is. About there. Now I've got to go this way and straighten it up. Does that look about right? No, it doesn't. It's too high. About there then. That'll do. And we'll put the 8 on. We're nearly finished. And then, and I know people say, oh, you don't need bling on a guy's card. Well, it can work. And I'm choosing the old olive. Well, actually, they say they're garden green, but they look more old olive to me. And I'm just going to pop a couple down the corner here. They're very small. They blend in with the grass and things on here. And one up the top here. And it's just a little bit of zhoosh to bring your eye in. And that is Ian's 80th birthday card. Now, I am going to make, using the strips that are left over, some of them, in fact, I probably can use this. I'm going to make a little gift tag to put on his wine. But that's his card. So hopefully that inspires you to have a look at your paper sometimes and do something completely different with it. It doesn't, just because it looks like kids' paper, you don't have to do a kid's card. You can make it into a guy's card. And I think that'll be perfect for Ian in the winter with his flannel shirts out, working in the garden on his 20 acres. So I think he will enjoy and see the humour in that card. Well, I'm glad you could join me today. I will be back next week and I will have something different again. We'll find out what we can play with next week. I haven't got any clues yet, so maybe something completely different. But I think it'll be a birthday card. There seems to be so many of them at the moment. All right. Oh, look, all these comments. Liz, thank you for your comments. Yeah, colours are great, Jane. I love those colours for the guys. I think it really, really works. And I missed someone's comment. I'm sorry about that. So, look, thank you for joining me. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And we'll be back with another birthday card. Take care and enjoy the day. Bye-bye.